Introduction. At the beach, the ocean meets the land. Many amazing plants and animals live there. What can you see at the beach? What animals live there? Now, read and discover more about the beach. Chapter 1. The beach. Every day, the ocean goes up the beach at high tide, and it goes down the beach at low tide. The ocean moves with the wind, too. The wind makes waves. The ocean is salt water. It's big and strong. The ocean can break rocks and shells into pieces. The pieces of rock and shell hit the water and other rocks. Then they get very little. This is how the ocean makes rocks and shells into sand. Chapter 2. Sand and rocks. What can you see in the sand and on the rocks at the beach? At low tide, the TIEN shell hides under the sand. It hides there because other animals like to eat it. It gets food and water with one of its siphons. The green flat periwinkle hides in green seaweed. Can you see it here? The barnacle lives on rocks. Its shell grows onto the rocks, so it doesn't move when there are waves. Some barnacles grow on whales. Chapter 3. In rock pools. At low tide, the ocean moves down the beach. Then, you can find rock pools. Let's look in a rock pool. Here's a crab. It gets food with its big, strong claws. It eats barnacles, starfish, and other little animals. It eats plants, too. The starfish can put its stomach out of its mouth. Then, it can eat this big clam. Crabs eat starfish, and starfish eat clams. This is called a food chain. Chapter 4. Near the beach. Many fish and other little animals live in the water near the beach. There's lots of food for them there. The prawn eats seaweed and little animals. The prawn has 20 legs. It walks with 10 legs, and it swims with 10 legs. The seahorse eats very little fish. It eats very, very little animals and plants called plankton, too. See how this seahorse hides in the seaweed. In this green seaweed, the seahorse is green, but in yellow seaweed, it's yellow. Chapter 5. In the ocean. You can see some amazing animals in the ocean. Here's a seal. The seal lives in the ocean and on land. When it swims in the ocean, it puts its head out of the water to get air. The dolphin jumps out of the water, and little fish are scared. They swim away, and then the dolphin can catch them. The dolphin gets air with a blowhole on its head. On sunny days, the basking shark swims at the top of the ocean. It can eat lots of plankton there. Plankton is its favorite food. Chapter 6. In the Air. Many birds live near the beach. There's lots of food for them there. The puffin lives on cliffs. When it's hungry, it flies down and swims under the ocean. Then, it catches its favorite fish. The pelican can catch lots of fish in its big bill. It opens its bill, and the water goes out. Then, it can eat the fish. A pelican can get 11 liters of water in its bill. Oyster catchers don't eat oysters. They eat mussels. They open the shells with their bill. Chapter 7. At the Coast. At the coast near the beach, there are cliffs. Some waves hit hills on the coast, and pieces of land break into the ocean. This makes cliffs. Sometimes there are holes in the cliffs. The ocean hits the holes and makes caves. The ocean can make arches and stacks too. At the coast, the sand moves in the wind. Then, the sand makes hills called sand dunes. Sand dunes can move 100 meters in a year. Chapter 8. Fun at the beach. You can do many things at the beach. You can kite surf, and the wind moves you on the ocean. You can snorkel too. Then, you can see amazing fish in the water. The ocean is big and strong. Don't go away from the people you know. Look for flags. They tell you where and when you can swim. Have fun at the beach, but remember the ocean plants and animals. Keep the beach clean for plants, animals, and other people. Cities. Introduction. Do you like the countryside, or do you like cities? In the countryside, there are trees and fields. In cities, there are buildings, streets, and lots of people. Do you live in a city? What can you see in a city? What can you do in a city? Now read and discover more about cities. Chapter 1. What is a city? It's 7 o'clock in the morning. People are going to work. It's a new day in the city. What is a city? A city is streets and buildings. A city is cars, buses, and taxis. A city is people. Lots of people. In some very big cities, there are more than 15 million people. Now it's 11 o'clock. There are lots of people in the streets. People are going shopping. People are taking buses and taxis. Some of the people are tourists. Every day, new people come to the city. Chapter 2. Buildings. In a city, you can see lots of buildings. There are museums, schools, and stores. In some cities, there are very tall buildings. Sometimes you can go to the top and look at the city. The streets are for everyone. You can walk with your family or friends. You can look in store windows. You can watch people, cars, and buses. A mall is a street with no cars. It's in a building, and you can find stores and restaurants there. There's a big old mall in Milan in Italy. Tourists go to this mall, and they take photos. Chapter 3. Water. Many big cities are by an ocean. They have a harbor for ships. Ships bring materials for new buildings. Ships bring tourists, too. There's a big harbor in Sydney in Australia. There are nice apartments and restaurants by the harbor. Sydney is a big city, but it has lots of parks and trees. Ships can come to a city by river, too. Many cities are on big rivers. In these cities, you can find great bridges. There are bridges for people, cars, and trains. Pittsburgh is a city in the USA. It has more than 400 bridges. Chapter 4. Tourists. It's fun to be a tourist in a city. There are lots of things to do. You can go to a park, a museum, or a zoo. You can ride on a bus and listen to a guide. It's good to walk around a city too. You can take photos of the streets and buildings. In some cities, there are lakes. You can swim there and have fun. In Udaipur, in India, there's a big lake. You can ride in a boat on the lake. In Hanoi, in Vietnam, you can ride in a rickshaw and see the city. Chapter 5. Homes. In cities, many homes are small. Some people live in houses, but many people live in apartments. These apartments are in Berlin, in Germany. They are nice apartments. Every apartment has a balcony. There's a playground for children, too. These houses are in San Francisco in the USA. They have stairs and a balcony. There are trees and flowers in the street. These houses are 100 years old. Behind the houses, there are big new offices. San Francisco is an old city, but it has lots of new buildings. Chapter 6. Work. In the morning, people come to cities and go to work. Lots of people work in offices. They use telephones and computers, but they don't meet many people at work. Sales clerks meet lots of people at work. Sales clerks work in stores. They help us when we want to buy things. Police officers meet lots of people too. They help people in the city. They work in the day and at night. There are doctors and nurses, teachers and students, bus drivers and taxi drivers. Thousands of people work together in a city. Chapter 7. Transportation. It's great to walk in a city, but you can't walk everywhere. Many people in cities use transportation. Lots of people come to cities by car, so there are traffic jams. Cars make pollution. Cars are not a good type of transportation in big cities. Trams are a good type of transportation. They run on tracks and they don't make pollution. Lots of cities have underground trains. Underground trains are fast. Thousands of people use them every day. Some underground stations are very deep. One station in Kiev in Ukraine is 105 meters under the ground. Chapter 8. Fun. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. People are having fun in the park. They are riding in boats on the lake or talking to friends. At 7 o'clock in the evening, many people are at the theater or watching a movie. Maybe they are with their friends in a restaurant. In a city, there are lots of things to do in the evening. It's 12 o'clock at night. Some people are in cafes and restaurants. Some people are working. Taxi drivers and police officers work at night. Many people are at home. This is the end of our day in the city. Animals in the air. Introduction. We see lots of animals in the air. Many of them have wings and can fly, like birds, butterflies, and bats. Other animals can jump into the air, like frogs and kangaroos. What animals can you see here? Which animals can fly? Which animals can jump? Now, read and discover more about animals in the air. Chapter 1. Animals that fly. Many animals fly because it helps them to stay safe, and they can move around fast to find food. For example, bees fly to collect nectar from flowers. Then, they use the nectar to make honey. Some animals fly to hunt other animals so that they can eat them. For example, owls fly to hunt smaller animals, like mice. Some animals fly to stay safe from other animals that want to eat them. For example, small birds fly to escape from cats and dogs. Many birds make their homes in tall trees where they are safe. Some birds, like storks, make their nests in high places, like the top of tall poles or buildings. Some storks make very big nests. The nests can be 2 meters across. Chapter 2. Wings and Feathers. Birds have many small feathers on their body. The feathers keep birds warm and dry. Most birds also have longer feathers on their wings and tail. These are called flight feathers because they help birds to fly. Birds have very thin bones with air spaces inside. The bones are very light, so it's easy for birds to fly. Some birds have very big wings. The Andean condor is one of the biggest flying birds in the world. It can have a wingspan of 3 meters. Other flying birds are small, with short wings. Some hummingbirds have a wingspan of only 6 centimeters. The biggest flying bird was the giant teratorn. It lived about 6 million years ago, and it had a wingspan of up to 7 meters. Chapter 3. Amazing Flyers. Most birds can fly, and some of them are amazing flyers. The fastest bird in the world is the peregrine falcon. When it's diving straight down, a peregrine falcon can fly at more than 200 kilometers per hour. Swallows are really amazing flyers. They hunt insects in the air, so they need to dive and turn very fast. It's fun to watch swallows in the evening, when there are lots of insects flying around. Some birds make amazing journeys to find food or to travel to a place to have their babies. Bar-tailed godwits fly all the way from New Zealand to Alaska. That's about 16,500 kilometers. The journey only takes about 1 week, with a short stop in China to rest and eat. Swifts are small birds that spend most of the time flying. They can even sleep in the air. Chapter 4. Flying High. Some birds, like bar-headed geese, fly very high. Bar-headed geese can fly over the highest mountains in the world, the Himalayas. Some of these mountains are more than 8,000 meters high. Ruppel's vultures can fly at more than 11,000 meters high. That's higher than many planes. Some birds, like vultures, condors, and eagles, don't move their wings a lot when they are flying high. They soar on warm air currents that are moving around. Birds that can soar have long, wide wings. It's easier for birds to soar when it's sunny. The sun makes the land warm. Then, the land makes the air warm, and warm air currents go up. Birds go up on the air currents, and they soar in circles high in the air. Chapter 5. Insects that fly. The first flying animals in the world were insects. They lived about 350 million years ago. Today, most insects have wings and can fly. Their wings grow from their thorax, the middle part of their body. Many insects, like bees and butterflies, have 4 wings. Some insects, like flies and mosquitoes, only have 2 wings. Some of the biggest flying insects today are atlas moths from Southeast Asia. These moths have a wingspan of about 30 centimeters. Some of the fastest flying insects in the world are dragonflies. Green darner dragonflies can fly at more than 50 kilometers per hour. The biggest flying insects were Meganura dragonflies. They lived about 300 million years ago and had a wingspan of about 70 centimeters. Chapter 6. Flying together. Many birds fly together in big groups called flocks. Some small birds fly in flocks to stay safe from hunting birds, like eagles and falcons. Other birds, like ducks and geese, fly in flocks when they move to a new place. Starlings are small birds that usually fly in small flocks. These flocks sometimes join together to make big flocks with thousands of starlings. They look like dark clouds. Some flying insects, like bees, moths, and locusts, fly in big groups called swarms. Sometimes there are millions of insects all together. When locusts are very hungry, they eat all the green plants that they find. Swarming locusts are a big problem for farmers. Bees only fly in swarms when they are moving to a new home. Special scout bees show the swarm where to go. Chapter 7. Jumping mini-beasts. Some mini-beasts, like grasshoppers, can jump really well. Grasshoppers are good jumpers because they have strong back legs. They can jump 20 times their body length. Fleas are mini-beasts that live in the hair of many animals, like dogs and cats. Fleas can't fly, but they can jump about 100 times their body length. That's how fleas move from one animal to another. All spiders can make silk. Many spiders make silk webs to catch insects. Jumping spiders don't make webs. They wait for insects, and then they jump on them. They jump from a silk thread. These spiders can jump about 80 times their body length. Springtails are mini beasts with a special tail that works like a spring. Springtails don't have wings, so they use their tail to push themselves into the air. Chapter 8. Bats in the Air. Did you know that bats are the only mammals that have wings and can fly? Their wings have long, thin bones that look like fingers. There's a membrane of skin between the bones. Many bats have a membrane between their legs, too. Some bats use this membrane as a net to catch insects in the air. The biggest bats are fruit bats. They eat fruit, flowers, and pollen. They're also called flying foxes. Bats usually rest in the day and fly at night. When they fly, bats make special sounds that bounce off things around them. Bats hear these echoes and use them to find their way at night. This is called echolocation. Bats also use echolocation to find insects and other food to eat. Chapter 9. Jumping mammals. Some mammals are excellent jumpers. This helps them to stay safe from people and other animals. Red kangaroos can jump over fences that are 3 meters high. They are also fast. They can jump at more than 50 kilometers per hour. Springbok gazelles can jump very far. They can travel more than 15 meters in one jump. Springbok gazelles can also jump straight up in the air. This is called pronking. Some mammals, like gibbons, are good at jumping and swinging between trees. Gibbons can swing about 9 meters from one branch to another. They can travel at more than 30 kilometers per hour in this way. Flying squirrels can't really fly. They have membranes between their body and their legs. They use these membranes to glide in the air like kites. Chapter 10. Frogs, Snakes, and Fish. Amphibians can't fly, but some of them can glide in the air. Gliding leaf frogs have membranes between their fingers and toes. They can use these membranes to glide. Some reptiles can glide too. Paradise tree snakes make their body very wide and flat, and they can glide about 100 meters through the air. We sometimes see fish in the air too. Flying fish can jump out of the water and glide for hundreds of meters. Flying fish have big fins that look like wings. Lots of animals can move around by flying, jumping, and gliding. Look around you today. Do you see any animals in the air?
All about ocean life. Introduction. A lot of Earth is covered by saltwater oceans. The oceans are home to many types of life, from the smallest plants to the biggest whales. What do you know about oceans? Which mammals live in the oceans? Which animals can you find in icy oceans? Now read and discover more about wonderful ocean life. Chapter 1. Oceans of the World. There are 5 oceans, and they cover about 70% of Earth. Oceans and their seashores are different all around the world. On the Arctic Ocean and the Southern Ocean, there's a lot of ice in winter. In warm tropical oceans, you can find colorful coral reefs where very many plants, fish, and other animals live. An ocean is always moving because of waves, currents, and tides. When the wind blows over the water, it makes waves. Currents are large amounts of warm or cold water that move around the ocean. An ocean also moves up the seashore and back again 2 times a day. These movements are called tides. Living in the ocean is very different to living on land. Ocean plants and animals have special ways of breathing, eating, moving, and keeping safe. The blue whale is the biggest animal in the world. It can be more than 30 meters long. It moves well in the ocean because the water holds it up. Chapter 2. Who eats what? In the ocean, there are lots of very small animals and plants called plankton. The plankton live near the top of the ocean because they need sunlight. Small fish eat plankton. Big animals eat the small fish. Then even bigger animals eat them. So plankton are important for almost every ocean animal. This is called a food chain. Animals that eat other animals are called predators. The animals that they eat are called prey. Most sharks are predators. Sharks can swim very fast to catch their prey. The whale shark is the biggest fish in the world. It's as long as a bus. It has no teeth, so it only eats plankton and small shrimps. Lots of seaweed called kelp grows near the seashore. The kelp is a safe home for many fish. Sea urchins eat kelp, and sea otters eat a lot of sea urchins. So, sea otters help to keep enough kelp in the ocean for the fish to live in. Chapter 3. The Seashore. There's a lot of ocean life near the seashore because the water here is full of food. Many birds, fish, and shellfish live and feed near the seashore. The seashore is not always a safe place. Big waves can throw animals onto rocks or carry them away. At low tide, animals and plants can easily dry out in the sun. Limpets are animals that have a special strong foot that holds onto rocks. This keeps them safe from big waves. They also have a hard shell so they don't dry out. Most trees can't live in salty ocean water, but mangrove trees grow on the seashore in tropical places. They have special roots so they can live in salt water. Many fish and other animals live under the roots of mangrove trees. Under the water, sea anemones use their long tentacles to catch food and to sting their predators. At low tide, they pull their tentacles in so they don't dry out. Chapter 4. Mammals and Birds. A mammal is an animal that drinks milk from its mother and breathes air. Most mammals, like people and elephants, live on land. Some mammals live in the ocean. Because they feed and move in water, ocean mammals are different from land mammals in many ways. The sea lion's body has a shape like a fish, so it can swim very fast. It doesn't have front legs, but it has flippers that pull it through the water. Whales are ocean mammals. Like all whales, the sperm whale breathes through a hole on its head called a blowhole. Sperm whales can stay underwater for 2 hours, and they can dive a long way down into the ocean. Some birds live, feed, and sleep on the ocean. They catch fish by diving under the water. Some birds only come to the seashore to make nests and to lay eggs. The albatross has bigger wings than any other bird. The 2 wings can be more than 3 meters wide. The albatross can fly up to 1,000 kilometers a day. Chapter 5. Coral Reefs. Corals are small animals that make hard covers around themselves. The covers are many different shapes and colors. Coral reefs are places where lots of corals live together. They are beautiful underwater worlds. Many different plants and animals live on coral reefs. Coral reef fish are very colorful, so they are camouflaged. It's not easy to see them near the coral. Clownfish live near the tentacles of sea anemones. Predators don't come near because the tentacles can sting them. The clownfish are safe because they have a special skin. Predators don't come near lionfish either. The spines of a lionfish can sting a fish and stop it moving, or even kill it. Small fish called cleaner wrasse work hard on coral reefs. They eat the little plants and animals that live on big fish. Big fish don't eat the cleaner wrasse. They open their mouths so the wrasse can clean inside. Chapter 6. Keeping Safe. Small fish and other animals have to keep safe from predators. Some fish swim together in big groups called shoals. In a shoal, there are more fish to look out for predators. There are also lots of fish to eat. So, if a fish is lucky, the predator eats one of the other fish. The leafy sea dragon is very well camouflaged. When it hides in seaweed, other fish can't see it. Can you see this leafy sea dragon? If the starfish loses an arm, it can grow a new one. Octopuses camouflage themselves by turning a different color. Can you see this octopus? When an octopus is scared, it can also make a big cloud of black ink. This surprises predators and gives the octopus time to swim away. When the porcupine fish sees a predator, it drinks lots of water. This makes its body big and round like a ball, and its spines stand up. Predators know that they can't eat it, so they don't come near. Chapter 7. Catching Prey. Big predators are very good at catching their prey. Sharks can smell and see very well. The hammerhead shark has nostrils and eyes at the ends of its head, so it can see and smell all around. The electric ray can give other fish an electric shock. This stops them moving or kills them, so that the ray can eat them. Electric rays make electricity. Some make enough electricity to work a television. All jellyfish have tentacles that can sting. When a fish swims near a jellyfish, the tentacles sting it many times. The jellyfish can then eat the fish. The anglerfish lives in deep water, where it's very dark and cold. But it has a small light on its head. When small fish see the light, they think it's something that they can eat. When they swim near, the anglerfish eats them. Chapter 8. Icy Oceans. Large parts of the Arctic Ocean and Southern Ocean have ice on them in winter. There are also big icebergs. In summer, a lot of the ice melts. Then, there are little pieces of ice in the oceans, and the icebergs are smaller. Polar bears live in the Arctic. Most of the year, they live on ice. They catch seals from holes in the ice. They also swim between the ice and icebergs. Polar bears are the biggest type of bear, but their cubs are very, very small when they are born. In summer, the Southern Ocean has a lot of plankton. Many dolphins, whales, seals, and birds come there to feed. Penguins live near the South Pole. They dive into the ocean for fish and other small animals. They have special feathers that keep them warm and dry. Their feathers are so warm that penguins can sometimes get too hot. A penguin keeps its egg on its feet so it doesn't get cold on the ice. Chapter 9. Farming the Oceans. People started fishing a long time ago, but today, fishermen with big boats can catch a lot of fish. Sometimes we take too many fish from the ocean. In many parts of the world, people farm fish in the ocean. The fish grow quickly, and they are also easy to catch. There are other types of farm in the ocean. In some places, farmers grow seaweed. When the seaweed is big enough, farmers collect it and dry it on land. Then they sell it. People eat it, and other farmers put it on their fields. People use seaweed to make ice cream. In the Pacific Ocean, farmers grow pearls. They put pieces of shell inside shellfish called oysters. And then they put the oysters on ropes. Hard, shiny covers called pearls grow around the shell pieces. Farmers sell pearls for a lot of money. Chapter 10. Oceans in Danger. There are many dangers for ocean birds and other animals. Big boats carry oil across the oceans. If the oil goes into the water, birds and other animals eat it. It also gets on their skin or feathers. It can kill them. Dirty water and chemicals from toilets, factories, and farms also go into the oceans. They can kill plants, fish, and other animals. People leave things on the beach, too, and sometimes these things can hurt animals. Sea turtles eat plastic bags because when they are in the water, they look like jellyfish. Sometimes big fishing nets catch dolphins, sea turtles, seals, and birds. Coral reefs are not safe either because they need clean water. Boats can break them too. So now we need to keep the ocean clean and safe. There are new rules so people can't take too many fish from the ocean. There are also new types of fishing net. Big animals can swim out of these nets. Now there are also some marine parks, special places where the ocean is always clean and safe.
Animal life cycles. Introduction. Animals grow and change during their life. To produce young, some animals have babies and others lay eggs. These young animals then grow up and produce young too. This journey from being born to producing young is called a life cycle. Animal life cycles are amazing. How do male birds find a mate? How big is a baby kangaroo when it's born? How does a crocodile carry her babies? What does a tadpole grow into? Now read and discover more about some amazing animal life cycles. Chapter 1. Life cycles. There are millions of different species of animal in the world. Some animals, like the blue whale, are very big. Others are so small that we almost can't see them. These animals all have very different life cycles. Animal groups. Scientists put animals into groups. The animals in each group are the same in many ways, and they often have very similar life cycles. The two biggest animal groups are invertebrates and vertebrates. Invertebrates are animals that have no backbone. More than 95% of the animal species in the world are invertebrates, and most of them are very small. There are many different groups of invertebrates. The biggest group is called arthropods. Insects, spiders, and animals like crabs that have a hard shell are all arthropods. Animals that have a backbone are called vertebrates. Only a few % of the animals in the world are vertebrates, and most of them are much bigger than invertebrates. Because of this, we see vertebrates more often than invertebrates. Scientists put vertebrates into 5 big groups. They are called fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. Staying alive. All animals need to find food to stay alive. Some animals are carnivores. This means that they eat other animals. Herbivores eat plants, and omnivores eat plants and animals. There are many dangers for animals. They have to keep safe from predators, animals that hunt and eat other animals. People hunt birds and other animals. People also cut down trees and build houses and roads on land. When they do this, Animals lose their homes and their food. Many animals also become sick or die because of pollution of the land, oceans, rivers, and air. Life is very dangerous for animals. Many animals die before they are old enough to produce young. Different animals live for different amounts of time. A Galapagos tortoise can live for 150 years, but an adult mayfly usually lives for just a few hours. Breeding. Most species of animals have males and females. Males produce sperm, and females produce eggs. Baby animals are made when sperm from the male joins together with an egg from the female. This is called fertilization. Some animals give birth to baby animals. Other animals, like reptiles and birds, lay eggs. Their babies hatch. They break the egg open and come out. Most reptiles and birds care for their babies. Most insects and fish do not care for their eggs or their babies. All mammals care for their babies and feed them milk. Some big mammals stay with their babies for many years. Chapter 2. Insects. Insects are small animals like butterflies, beetles, flies, bees, and ants. There are more than 1 million species of insect in the world. Many insects change in amazing ways during their life. Larvae and nymphs. Almost all insects start their life in an egg. The young insect grows inside the egg and then it hatches. Some baby insects, like bees, look very different from their parents. These baby insects are called larvae. Other baby insects, like locusts, look more like their parents. These baby insects are called nymphs. Larvae and nymphs are very small when they hatch. Growing up. A young insect eats a lot of food and grows very quickly. It has a hard cover called an exoskeleton. When the exoskeleton is too small for the young insect, it breaks open and comes off. A new exoskeleton grows under the old one. This is called molting. Some insects grow wings that get bigger every time they molt. After the insect molts for the last time, it becomes an adult that can fly and produce young. This is called incomplete metamorphosis. Most insects change by complete metamorphosis. When the larva is ready to change into an adult, its exoskeleton comes off. Under the exoskeleton, there's a pupa. It's like a closed case. Inside the pupa, an amazing change happens. The larva changes into an adult that looks completely different. Finding a mate. When insects become adults, they are ready to breed and produce young. First, they need to find a mate. Male crickets, cicadas, and grasshoppers sing to find females that they can mate with. Female butterflies and moths produce special chemicals called pheromones that have a strong smell. Male butterflies and moths can smell the pheromones from up to 2 kilometers away. They then fly toward the smell.
Discover.
1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 100. 101. 102. 103. 104. 105. 106. 107. 108. 109. 110. 111. 112. 113. 114. 1
Male fireflies make special lights in their body. They turn these lights on and off so that female fireflies know that they are looking for a mate. Laying eggs. Some insects only lay a few eggs during their life, but others lay thousands. Many insects are careful to keep their eggs safe. The cardinal beetle makes a hole in dead wood and lays her eggs inside. When the eggs hatch, you can't see the larvae very well. Cockroaches lay their eggs in a special case, and beetle eggs are usually yellow, green, or black so that they are camouflaged. When these insect eggs hatch, the life cycle starts again.
Discover!
Termite queens lay up to 30,000 eggs every day. Chapter 3. Other invertebrates. There are many other groups of invertebrate, and they all have very different life cycles. Did you know that earthworms, octopuses, spiders, and lobsters are all invertebrates? Earthworms. All earthworms lay eggs because they are hermaphrodites. This means that they all have male parts that produce sperm and female parts that produce eggs, but they cannot fertilize their own eggs. After earthworms mate, their bodies make special rings with eggs inside. The ring moves forward over the worm's body, and then it comes off. Then the ends of the ring join together. The eggs hatch after about 3 months, and young earthworms can mate when they are 12 months old. Octopuses. Baby octopuses live in the open ocean at first, but when they grow, they move down to the bottom of the ocean. Here they live on their own in dens. Octopuses are ready to mate when they are 1 or 2 years old. Some female octopuses lay about 200,000 eggs, and many put them in strings from the top of their dens. The females keep the eggs safe from predators, and they carefully push water over them so that they get enough oxygen. The octopuses do not eat for up to 10 months when they are caring for their eggs. After the eggs hatch, the female octopuses die. Spiders. Spiders produce silk, and they use it to make webs where they catch flies and other insects. Most species of spider also put lots of silk around their eggs to make a special cover called a cocoon. Most spider eggs hatch after a few days or weeks. The baby spiders, or spiderlings, grow fast, and they molt a few times. They can soon make their own webs and catch their own food. Many spiders die after they lay their eggs. Some spiderlings eat their mother's body after she dies. Lobsters. A female lobster can lay up to 10,000 eggs, but only about 10 of them will live. The female lobster carries her eggs hidden under her tail for almost a year. When they are ready to hatch, she lifts her tail and they float away. When the eggs hatch, the larvae move to the top of the ocean. Life here is very dangerous because of predators and difficult currents. Lobster larvae look very different from adult lobsters. When they are about 1 month old, the larvae move to the bottom of the ocean. They molt about 25 times before they become adults. Lobsters often eat their old shell after molting. This helps their new shell to become hard. Chapter 4. Fish. Fish are vertebrates that are cold-blooded. This means that their body is as hot or cold as the water around them. All fish live and breathe in water, and most baby fish hatch from eggs. Eggs. Female fish can lay hundreds of eggs. Inside every egg, there's a bag of food called the yolk. The unborn baby fish eats the yolk so that it can grow bigger and stronger. Fish often try to hide their eggs because many other animals like to eat fish eggs. Female seahorses lay their eggs into a special pouch on the male's front, where they stay safe until they are ready to hatch. Some species of shark lay their eggs in a hard egg case to keep the eggs safe until they hatch. Young fish. When young fish hatch, the yolk bag is still stuck to their body. The young fish use this as food at first. Life is very dangerous for young fish. Most of them don't have fins, so they can't swim well. They often float into colder water or places where there's no food. Also, many predators like seals, birds, frogs, and other fish hunt them. This is why fish lay so many eggs. A large female tuna fish can lay up to 6 million eggs at one time, but only about 2 of these will grow into adult tuna. Growing up. Most fish never see their parents because they swim away after they have laid their eggs. The young fish have to find food for themselves so that they can grow bigger. They eat small plants and insect eggs or larvae. Most small fish grow into adults just a few months after hatching, but whale sharks do not grow into adults until they are 25 years old. The whale shark is the biggest fish in the world. An adult whale shark can be about 12 meters long, and it can weigh more than 21 metric tons. Breeding. Fish need to find mates so that they can breed. When the male 3-spined stickleback is ready to breed, he builds a nest. Part of his body changes to a red color. Females see his bright colors and they lay their eggs in his nest. Many fish go back to the same place to breed every year. Salmon live in the ocean, but to breed, they swim back to the rivers where they hatched. Some salmon travel hundreds of kilometers up rivers, and sometimes they have to jump up waterfalls. They change color from silver to red when they are swimming back to their breeding places. Chapter 5. Amphibians. Like fish, amphibians are cold-blooded vertebrates. Most amphibians live for some of their life in water and for some of their life on land. Salamanders, toads, and frogs are all amphibians. Metamorphosis. All amphibians have 2 different parts of life. At first they are larvae that breathe in water through special gills. Then they change into adults with lungs. This change is called metamorphosis. Usually amphibians live in water for the first part of their life and on land for the second part. Some salamanders live in water all the time. Eggs and larvae. Amphibians often lay thousands of eggs. The eggs have a sticky cover and they float in water. Most amphibians do not care for their eggs, but the male midwife toad carries them on his back until they are ready to hatch. The young that hatch from eggs are called larvae, but young frogs and toads are also called tadpoles. At first, tadpoles don't have legs or feet, and they breathe through gills. It's easy for predators to catch and eat eggs and tadpoles. Frogs can lay about 2,000 eggs, but probably only 5% live to become adults. The male Darwin's frog keeps his tadpoles safe and wet in his throat until they are big enough to swim away. Becoming adults. When amphibians begin to change into adults, they grow lungs inside their body and their gills close. At the same time, most amphibians grow legs and feet. An adult frog looks completely different from a tadpole. Most adult amphibians can breathe through their skin and their lungs. They can only breathe through their skin if it's wet, so most amphibians live near water. Amphibians are cold-blooded, so when it gets very cold, they have no energy. Some amphibians in colder countries hibernate for the winter. They hide in a safe, wet place and go into a special long sleep. Amphibian larvae are herbivores, but during metamorphosis, many amphibians become carnivores. Breeding. Most amphibians go to wet places like ponds, lakes, or rivers to breed because their eggs and larvae live in water. Many go back to the same place every year, and some go back to the pond or stream where they were born. Male frogs croak and shout to tell the females that they are ready to breed. They push their throats out so that their calls are louder. When the female has chosen a mate, she lays her eggs in the water, and the male covers them with sperm. Chapter 6. Reptiles. Reptiles are cold-blooded, and their skin is dry and covered with special scales. Lizards, snakes, crocodiles, alligators, and turtles are all reptiles. Some live on land, and some live in water. Eggs. Most reptiles hatch from eggs, but a few are born as living animals. Females lay their eggs in a warm, wet place. They usually lay a lot of eggs, but many eggs are eaten by predators. Most reptiles lay their eggs and then they leave them. But pythons put their body around their eggs to keep them warm. Alligators make a big nest from mud and leaves. They lay their eggs and stay near the nest. They don't eat for weeks when they are keeping their eggs safe. Growing up. Crocodiles and alligators are very good parents after their eggs hatch. The female Nile crocodile is very careful. She puts her babies inside her mouth to carry them to water. She stays near them to keep them safe for up to 2 months. When snakes and lizards grow, they get too big for their skin. The old skin comes off, and there's a new one underneath. This is called sloughing. Most snakes lose their old skin 3 or 4 times every year. Breeding. When reptiles are ready to breed, they have to find a mate. Male crocodiles lift their head up and make a loud sound. They also blow bubbles in the water so that females will see and hear them. Snakes find their mate by smell. The females leave a special smell that the male follows. Other male reptiles, like monitor lizards, fight each other for a mate. The females choose the winner of the fight because he's the strongest. Some whiptail lizards can produce young without mating. The eggs are not fertilized, but they still hatch. Keeping safe. Reptiles are in danger from many predators, and they have lots of ways of keeping safe. If a predator catches a lizard by its tail, the lizard can break its tail off and escape. It then grows a new tail. The stinkpot turtle makes a horrible smell from its legs to make predators go away. Many reptiles also use camouflage to keep safe. Some chameleons can change color so that predators do not see them, and the leaf-tailed gecko can hide easily because its body looks like a leaf. Chapter 7. Birds. There are about 9,000 different species of bird, and they all lay eggs. Baby birds, called chicks, come from eggs. Birds are the only animals that have feathers. All birds have wings, and most birds can fly. Courtship. Courtship is when male birds try to find female birds that they can mate with. Male birds do many different things to find a mate. Some males show females their colors. The male frigate bird pushes his red throat out like a balloon. The blue-footed booby shows his big blue feet. Songbirds sing for their females, and the bowerbird builds a special place with twigs and puts bright-colored things in it so that it looks pretty. Nests. Birds work very hard to build nests, special homes where they can keep their eggs and chicks safe and warm. They find grass, mud, and twigs, and they push them together. Many birds build nests in high places like trees and cliffs. Others build them on the ground. These birds are usually brown and speckled, so they are well camouflaged. Eggs. The female bird lays her eggs in the nest. Then the female or the male sits on the eggs to keep them warm. When the chick is ready to hatch, it breaks the shell with a special tooth on its beak. Cuckoos lay their eggs in other birds' nests. When the baby cuckoo hatches, it pushes the other eggs or chicks out of the nest so that it can have more food. It often grows much, much bigger than the adult bird that is feeding it. Ostrich eggs are the biggest bird eggs, and they can weigh about 2 kilograms. If you stand on one, it will not break. Chicks. Many chicks have no feathers, and they can't see or move when they hatch, but some can run, swim, and find food. Birds feed their chicks and keep them safe until they can care for themselves. Birds often have to fly to and from the nest hundreds of times a day to bring enough food for their chicks. Growing up. Some small birds can fly just 2 weeks after they hatch, but bigger birds take longer. Chicks watch their parents and learn to fly, feed, sing, and keep safe. Some baby birds do not become adults for months or even years. Many birds that migrate every year have to make long, dangerous journeys when they are still very young. These birds fly to warmer places for winter and come back to their breeding places for summer. Chapter 8. Mammals. All mammals have fur or hair, and they produce milk to feed their babies. Giraffes, bears, kangaroos, elephants, and people are all mammals. Breeding. It's usually the female mammals who choose a mate, so the males want the females to look at them. Leopards make marks on trees with their claws so that the females will know they are there. Other animals make special smells. Males often fight with each other to win a mate. Male giraffes fight with their head and neck to show which animal is the strongest. Having babies. Most mammals do not lay eggs. The babies grow inside the mother's body, and they get food and oxygen from a special part of the body called the placenta. This is called gestation. The gestation time for shrews is only 2 weeks, but for African elephants, it's 22 months. When mammals are ready to have their babies, many look for safe, quiet places. Polar bears dig special dens in the snow so that their babies will be warm and safe. Baby mammals. Some baby mammals grow a lot inside their mother's body, and they can stand up as soon as they are born. Other baby mammals can't see or move when they are born. Mammals produce milk for their babies, and this is the only food or drink that they need at first. Marsupials. Marsupials are animals like kangaroos and koalas. Baby marsupials only grow for a short time inside their mother's body. After they are born, they continue to grow on the outside of their mother's body, usually in a pouch. Baby kangaroos are only 5 centimeters long when they are born. They climb into their mother's pouch, where they stay for up to a year. Growing up. Mammals are different from many other types of animal because they feed and care for their babies. Anteaters carry their babies on their back for the first year, and elephants stay near their mother until they are 10 years old. Baby mammals learn from their parents, and they learn by playing, too. Life cycles. Life is very dangerous for a lot of animals. Many are killed by predators. Also, people hunt them and damage their habitats, the places where they live. Many animals die before they become adults, but if they grow up, then they can produce young. This is all part of their life cycle. Because of this, there will always be millions of species of animal on Earth, if we care for them and their habitats. All about space. Introduction. Space is everything that's around planet Earth, and it's bigger than we can imagine. When you look at the sky at night, you can see thousands of stars. Did you know that the sun is a star too? There are also billions of other stars in space and billions of planets. How many planets do you know? What do you know about them? What can you see below? Now read and discover more about space. Chapter 1. Our Solar System. Stars are huge balls of hot gas. A star with planets around it is called a solar system. Our sun has 8 planets. This is our solar system. Our galaxy. Groups of stars are called galaxies. Each galaxy has billions of stars. Our solar system is in a galaxy called the Milky Way that has 200 billion stars. There are billions of other galaxies in the universe. The universe is everything that exists, all the stars and all the galaxies. It appeared in a single moment called the Big Bang about 14 billion years ago. Before then, there were no stars. Our amazing sun. The sun and all other stars are made of 2 gases called hydrogen and helium. The hydrogen changes into helium in a process called nuclear fusion. This process produces heat and light. Our sun is about 150 million kilometers away from Earth, but it's hot enough to burn you at the beach. Plants on Earth use energy from the sun to grow. Animals and people also get their energy from the sun because they eat plants. Earth and the sun. A planet goes around or orbits a star. It takes our planet Earth 1 year to orbit the sun. A planet also turns on its axis. It takes Earth 24 hours to do a complete turn on its axis. When a place on Earth is opposite the sun, it's daytime in that place. The planets in our solar system. All the planets in our solar system orbit the sun. A year is the time that it takes a planet to orbit the sun. It's 365 days for Earth. Mercury and Venus are near the sun, so they have shorter years because they travel a shorter distance around the sun. A year on Mercury is the same as 88 days on Earth. Planets that are further from the sun have longer orbits. A year on Neptune is the same as 165 years on Earth. Each planet in our solar system is different, but Mercury Venus, and Mars are rocky planets like Earth. If you landed on these planets, you would find rocks, and you could walk around on them. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are called gas giants. They are much bigger than the rocky planets, and they are made mostly of gas. Dwarf planets. Astronomers have discovered 5 dwarf planets in our solar system. Dwarf planets are like very small planets, and they orbit the sun. The biggest dwarf planet is called Eris, and it's 2,500 kilometers across. The most famous dwarf planet is Pluto. It was discovered in 1930, and for more than 70 years it was called the 9th planet in the solar system. Now, it's called a dwarf planet. Chapter 2. The Inner Planets. The inner planets in our solar system are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. They are the nearest planets to the Sun, and they are made of rocks and soil. Venus, Earth, and Mars have gas around them called atmosphere. Mercury. Mercury is the smallest planet in the solar system, and it doesn't have an atmosphere. A planet's atmosphere traps the sun's heat and keeps the temperature warm at night. Mercury is very hot in the daytime because it's the nearest planet to the sun, but it's very cold at night. When the temperature on one half of Mercury is 427 degrees centigrade, the other half is minus 173 degrees. Venus. Venus is the second planet from the Sun and the nearest planet to Earth. But it would not be a nice place to visit. Pressure is the force or weight of something on your body. Venus has more gas in its atmosphere than Earth, and all that gas creates pressure. If astronauts visited Venus, the pressure would kill them. In the atmosphere around Venus, a gas called carbon dioxide traps heat from the sun. The temperature on Venus is 462 degrees centigrade. That's hotter than a pizza oven. The sky on Venus is yellow because there are clouds of sulfuric acid. This dangerous chemical can burn metal. Venus turns very slowly on its axis, but it orbits the sun very quickly, so a day is longer than a year on Venus. Earth. Earth is our home, and it's the third planet from the sun. Billions of years ago, Earth was very hot. Later, the planet became cooler and oceans of water formed. Life began in these oceans about 3.5 billion years ago. Earth is a great place for life because it isn't too hot or too cold for liquid water. Plants, animals, and people need liquid water to live, and they also need oxygen. Most of the gas in Earth's atmosphere is nitrogen, but 20.7% is oxygen. A moon orbits a planet and often looks like a small planet. Earth has one moon, but some planets have a lot. Our moon takes 27 days to orbit Earth. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune all have moons too. Mars. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun, and it has 2 small moons. Mars is smaller than Earth, and it's called the red planet because chemicals make the soil red. Mars has some amazing places. Mons Olympus is a volcano, and it's 25 kilometers high. That's 3 times higher than Mount Everest, the highest mountain on Earth. The Valles Marineris is a huge canyon. It's 10 times longer and 3 times deeper than the Grand Canyon, the biggest canyon on Earth. Some scientists think that there were rivers on Mars in the past, but then the temperature became colder. Now, all the water is ice. Chapter 3. The Outer Planets. The 4 outer planets in our solar system are the farthest away from the Sun, and they are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Do you know what they are made of? Gas giants. The outer planets are bigger than the inner planets, and they don't have a rocky surface. We call them gas giants because they are made of hydrogen, helium, and other gases around a rocky center. Inside these planets, pressure changes the gases into a liquid. Jupiter. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the Sun. It's the biggest planet in our solar system, and it's more than 1,000 times bigger than Earth. Jupiter has about 60 moons, and some of them are bigger than planets. Huge storms move clouds of gas around Jupiter, and they make beautiful colors in the atmosphere. Jupiter has a big red circle of storm clouds called the red spot. This is the biggest storm in our solar system. Storms on Earth can last for days, but this storm started 300 years ago, and it hasn't finished yet. Jupiter and the other gas giants have a lot of moons. Scientists are discovering new moons all the time. Saturn. Saturn is the 2nd biggest planet in our solar system and the 6th planet from the Sun. There are thousands of rings around Saturn. The farthest ring is millions of kilometers from Saturn. The rings are made of billions of pieces of dust and ice. Some pieces of ice are very small, and some are bigger than houses. Saturn's rings are different colors because of chemicals in the ice. Saturn has about 60 moons. The biggest moon is called Titan. Titan has atmosphere, clouds, and lakes, but the lakes are made of chemicals, not water. Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune also have rings, but they aren't as big or as beautiful as the rings around Saturn. Uranus and Neptune. Uranus is the 7th planet in the solar system. It's 2.4 billion kilometers from the Sun. If you travel another 2 billion kilometers out into space, you will reach Neptune, the farthest planet from the Sun. Uranus and Neptune are far from the Sun, so they are very cold. The temperature on Neptune is minus 214 degrees centigrade. Both planets are made mostly of gas, like Jupiter and Saturn, but different chemicals in their atmospheres make them green and blue. Uranus has 27 moons, and Neptune has 13. Chapter 4. Rocks and Ice. There are 2 rings around the Sun, called the asteroid belt and the Kuiper belt. The asteroid belt is between Mars and Jupiter. It's made of rocks called asteroids. The Kuiper belt is further away than Neptune. It's made of pieces of ice. Asteroids. Some rocks in the asteroid belt are the size of houses, but others are many kilometers across. When planets come near them, or other asteroids hit them, these rocks can leave the asteroid belt. Sometimes they travel toward the inner planets. Comets. Comets are huge pieces of ice and dust, and some of them are 50 kilometers across. Comets come from the Kuiper belt, or from further away in space, but sometimes their orbits bring them nearer Earth and the Sun. When comets come nearer the Sun, they become hotter, and they leave pieces of ice and dust behind them. This is called a comet's tail, and it can be millions of kilometers long. Halley's Comet is a famous comet. It comes near Earth every 75 or 76 years. We will see it again in 2061. Meteors and meteorites. Meteors are pieces of rock, dust, or ice that enter a planet's atmosphere. They come from asteroids and comets. Most meteors burn when they enter the atmosphere, but sometimes pieces hit a planet's surface, and these pieces are called meteorites. More than 1,000 metric tons of ice, dust, and rocks from space land on Earth every year, but most of these pieces are very small. Sometimes big meteorites hit Earth and make a huge hole called a crater. Big meteorites don't hit planets very often, but they are very dangerous. In 1994, 21 pieces of a comet hit Jupiter. Some of the explosions were bigger than our planet Earth. In 1908, a meteorite exploded in the sky above the Tunguska River in Siberia in Russia. No one lived there, but a forest of 80 million trees was burned. About 65 million years ago, there were no people on Earth, and the animals were different too. Dinosaurs lived here. Then one day, a bright light appeared in the sky. It was a huge meteorite. Some of it burned in the atmosphere, but a piece hit Earth. It was about 20 kilometers long. The meteorite crater is in Chicxulub, in the Yucatan in Mexico, and it's 180 kilometers across. When the meteorite hit Earth, there was a huge explosion. Scientists think that fires and acid destroyed most of the world's forests. Clouds of dust covered the sky, and light from the sun didn't reach Earth's surface. It became very cold for many years. At about the same time, the dinosaurs and 70% of all the plants and other animals on Earth died. Chapter 5. Astronomy. Astronomy is studying the planets and the stars, and people who study astronomy are called astronomers. Do you know what they have discovered? Ancient astronomers. Thousands of years ago, people in places like China, Iraq, and Greece used the sun, the moon, and the stars to calculate the time of year and the seasons. This is how they knew the dates of festivals and when to plant seeds. Many people, like the ancient Egyptians or the Incas of South America, thought that the sun was a god. They built beautiful temples for the sun. Sunlight falls on the statues in this ancient Egyptian temple at sunrise on 2 days every year. These were important days in the Egyptian calendar. Understanding the solar system. Most ancient astronomers believed that Earth was at the center of our solar system. They thought that the sun, the other stars, and all the planets orbited Earth. In 1543, a Polish astronomer called Copernicus said that the sun was at the center of our solar system, but people didn't believe him. Later, other astronomers like Galileo Galilei from Pisa, now in Italy, believed him, but important people stopped them writing about their ideas. Almost 150 years later, a British astronomer called Isaac Newton proved that Earth orbits the sun. Isaac Newton discovered the force of gravity. Gravity makes things fall to the ground on Earth. It also makes the planets orbit the sun. Galileo and the first telescopes. Telescopes help people to learn about our solar system. In 1609, Galileo used one of the first telescopes to look at the night sky. He saw mountains and craters on the moon, and 4 moons around Jupiter. The first telescopes were very small. Later, people made bigger telescopes, and they discovered new planets and moons. Our galaxy and the universe. When Galileo looked at a bright area in the night sky, he discovered that it was made of many stars. Later, people discovered that this is the center of our galaxy, the Milky Way. For a long time, astronomers thought that the Milky Way was the only galaxy in the universe. Then, in 1930, an American astronomer called Edwin Hubble discovered another galaxy. Now, we know that there are billions of galaxies in the universe. Astronomy today. Today, astronomers use huge telescopes to study the stars. They can see the light from galaxies billions of kilometers from Earth. Astronomers use different telescopes to look for other types of energy from stars called radio waves and X-rays. Astronomers also use spacecraft to explore our solar system. Spacecraft orbit or fly past other planets and take photos. Some spacecraft have visited other planets and moons too.
Discover!
The Hubble Space Telescope has orbited Earth since 1990. It can take better photos than telescopes on Earth because it's outside Earth's atmosphere. Chapter 6. Life on Other Planets. In stories, aliens are living things from another world. But are they real? Is there life on other planets? Astronomers are looking for life in our solar system and on planets around other stars. Martians. 100 years ago, telescopes were smaller, and it was difficult to see Mars clearly. Astronomers thought that they saw lines on the surface of Mars, and some people thought that they were canals. At the time, people were building great canals on Earth, like the Panama Canal in Central America. Some astronomers imagined aliens building these canals and living in cities on Mars. people wrote stories and made movies about aliens from Mars, called Martians, visiting Earth. Now we know that there aren't any Martians, but we still make movies about them. Water and bacteria. Life on Earth needs liquid water, carbon, and gases like oxygen and nitrogen. When scientists look for life on other planets, they look for places that have liquid water. Bacteria are simple living things on Earth, and they can live in very hot and cold places and even inside rocks. Scientists are looking for bacteria on Mars and in other places in our solar system. Life on Mars. It's very cold on Mars, so all the water on the surface is ice. Many scientists think that there is liquid water in the soil or even in underground rivers. Maybe there is life on Mars, too. At the moment, robots from Earth are exploring Mars and looking for life. Europa. Europa is one of Jupiter's moons, and it's covered in ice. The surface is very cold, but scientists think it's warmer inside. Maybe there are oceans under the ice. Maybe there are bacteria or other living things in the oceans too. One day, people will send robots to explore Europa and to look for life. Titan. Saturn's largest moon, Titan, is the only moon in the solar system with atmosphere. It has rivers, lakes, rain, and clouds. These are made of chemicals called hydrocarbons, and scientists think that there is water under the surface of Titan too. Living things are made of hydrocarbons and water. Maybe one day we will discover life on Titan. Life in other solar systems. What do we know about life in other solar systems? Astronomers have found hundreds of planets near other stars, but they are still looking for a planet like Earth. Some scientists think that there are lots of planets like Earth in our galaxy and millions in the universe. Maybe there is life on some of them. On another planet billions of kilometers from here, maybe alien astronomers are looking at the stars. Sometimes, people see unusual objects in the sky called UFOs. Some people think that they are alien spacecraft, but they are usually things like balloons or comets. Chapter 7. People in Space. More than 450 astronauts have seen Earth from space. They have done experiments, visited the moon, and taught us a lot about our solar system. Would you like to travel in space? The first astronauts. In 1957, Russia sent the first rocket into space. It took a machine called a satellite. Then on the 12th of April 1961, another Russian rocket called Vostok carried a small spacecraft into space. Inside there was a man called Yuri Gagarin. He was the first person in space. His spacecraft orbited Earth for 108 minutes and then returned to Earth. Later, Russia and America built bigger and better rockets, and more astronauts went into space. Today, hundreds of satellites orbit Earth. We use them to study the weather, to take photos, and to do lots of other things. Astronauts on the Moon. In 1968, astronauts in the Apollo 8 spacecraft orbited the moon for the first time. Then on July 21, 1969, the Apollo 11 spacecraft landed on the moon. Millions of people watched on television when two American astronauts, called Neil Armstrong and Edwin Buzz Aldrin, stepped onto the moon. It was an incredible moment. For the first time in history, people walked on another world. Another 10 American astronauts visited the moon between 1969 and 1972. They did experiments and collected rocks and soil. They also drove a special car called a lunar rover or moon buggy. Space shuttles. In 1981, a new type of spacecraft flew for the first time. It was called a space shuttle. Space shuttles can fly into space many times because they take off like a rocket and they land like a plane. They have taken very big things into space, like the Hubble Space Telescope. Space stations. A space station is a place in space where astronauts can live and do experiments. The first space stations were very small. But the International Space Station, ISS, is much bigger. It was built in space. The first astronauts visited it in 1998. Now, teams of astronauts from different countries live and work on the space station all the time. Living in space. If you drop something on Earth, it falls to the ground because of gravity. In a spacecraft, astronauts don't feel gravity because their spacecraft is moving very fast. This is called zero gravity, and you can float. In space, things float, so astronauts use a material called Velcro to stick everything to the walls. Astronauts cook food in special containers, and they use a special shower because water floats too. They also use special sleeping bags to stop them floating when they sleep. Gravity makes you strong on Earth because you exercise your body every time you walk or lift something. Your body doesn't do this in space, so astronauts can become weak. They have to use exercise machines to keep strong.
Discover!
The ISS orbits Earth once every 90 minutes. It's difficult for astronauts to sleep because the sun rises or sets every 45 minutes. Astronauts wear masks over their eyes. Chapter 8. Our Future in Space. 100 years ago, space travel was a dream. Now, people are living in space. What will happen in the next 100 or 1,000 years? Space tourism. A few tourists have already visited space, but their trips cost millions of dollars. Now people have designed special space planes to take tourists into space. They are cheaper than rockets, but at the moment, space plane trips only last a few hours. In the future, maybe tourists will orbit Earth and stay in space hotels. Maybe they will enjoy amazing views of Earth from the hotel windows and play games and sports in zero gravity too. Living on the Moon. We are building new spacecraft to take people to the moon. The first astronauts will visit the moon in about 2020, and they will stay there for a week. Later, astronauts will build a moon base. Scientists, engineers, and astronomers will live in the moon base for months so that they can do experiments. Living on the moon won't be easy. Food and equipment will come from Earth 386,000 kilometers away. There is no atmosphere on the moon, so people will wear spacesuits to protect themselves when they go outside. The sun produces a dangerous type of energy called radiation. Earth's atmosphere protects us, but scientists must find a way to protect people in the moon base. Exploring Mars. With today's spacecraft, it would take astronauts about 2 years to reach Mars and return to Earth. It would be very difficult to take enough food and water for such a long trip, and the sun's radiation would be very dangerous too. In the future, scientists will probably invent faster spacecraft and ways to protect the astronauts from radiation. The first astronauts will probably visit Mars in about 50 years from now. Radiation isn't a problem for robots, and they don't need water, oxygen, or food. Engineers are designing new robots called robonauts. They look and move like people, and they can do almost everything that astronauts do. If it's too difficult or dangerous to send astronauts to a planet, robonauts will go there. In 1,000 years from now. Maybe one day people will live on Mars or in huge space stations. There are lots of materials like metals, ice, and hydrocarbons in our solar system. We can use these materials to produce oxygen and water, and to grow food. We can also make fuel for rockets and build new spacecraft. If we invent very fast spacecraft, maybe we will explore other solar systems one day too. 1,000 years ago, people traveled by horse, and we didn't know that the world was round. In 1,000 years from now, we will have new technologies and new ways to explore space. What do you think our life will be like? Where do you think we will live?